All right, what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another episode of the Just Ballin' podcast. Today, we're going to just talk NBA Summer League. We're pretty much in, not the deep part of the offseason yet. That'll probably be at the end of July and August before training camp. And we'll have September where there's not going to be too much to talk about. But Summer League has been in full swing. It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of exciting draft picks from the 2025 class, from the 2024 class, from the 2023 class, as well as some guys that have gone undrafted over the last few years. There's some two ways that are standing out right now. There's some guys that are still getting their feet wet. They haven't really shot the ball very well in Summer League so far in a very small sample size. Some of these guys have played 1, 2, maybe 3 games in Vegas, and then some other teams got a little bit of run time in Salt Lake City and California before the Vegas Summer League. So I'm just going to kind of go maybe team by team, player by player, and just talk about some of the Summer League standouts so far. So honestly, I'm down to just go team by team. I'll try to leave some timestamps down below. It will be in alphabetical order as well from their city. So we're going to start off with the Atlanta Hawks. I think a couple guys that caught my eye going into Summer League were definitely Nikola Jurisic, a second-round pick from last year's draft class, Asa Newell, who was their first-round pick this year, and definitely Kobe Buffkin. And if you guys have followed my draft content over the years, you know that I was very high on Kobe Buffkin going into the 2023 NBA draft. I had, I think, a top 12 grade on him coming out of Michigan. I didn't love him going to Atlanta because he was good behind Trey and DeJounte. There was never a clear runway for him. They had some backup guards as well, Bogdan Bogdanovic. They gave a lot of runtime to Garrison Matthews back then, and there was, I think, another wing or two on that team, or guard or two, and he has been hurt a lot, right? He was banged up in his rookie year, was banged up last year, and has struggled with efficiency. I was high on 2 guards in that class, and they were a little bit smaller, more so for their scoring creativity in college, and that was Nick Smith Jr. Out of Arkansas, who we'll get to a little bit. Well, maybe not, because he's not playing Summer League for some reason. And then you got Kobe Buffkin, who had a really good first game in Summer League, but he's just struggled with the efficiency. Now, he's gotten to the free throw line a ton, which is encouraging. He's averaging 9.5 free throw attempts throughout the first 2 games, but 27% from the field, 14% from 3 if you're watching him. He's forcing a lot. I mean, Kobe Buffkin is somebody that is or has been the 7th or 8th option. He's always delegating when he's out there with the Atlanta Hawks, or he's not really a score first guy at times. And now in Summer League, he is the Trae Young of this team. So he's going to have obviously a super high usage. The shot hasn't really been falling. I would be okay if the field goal percentage wasn't great, but the fact that the 3-point shot hasn't fallen, I mean, it's such a small sample size. I would just like to see it be a little bit better. I think Jurisic is still a crafty ball handler as well. He stood out at the combine when I was in person there last year. Didn't see a lot of him at all last year. So I'm excited to see if he is going to make the active roster. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, or he's going to be in the G League. Or I know he just got signed recently. And then Asa Newell didn't have a great first game in Summer League, I believe, but the second game was a lot more exciting. Just crazy good athlete. And yeah, he's catching passes from Buffkin and Jurisic. He's going to go to Trae Young this year, which is going to be great for Asa Newell's development, which is something I've talked about for sure. Boston has been an intriguing team now. In their first game, Hugo Gonzalez was fantastic. He looked the part. He looked comfortable out there. He looked physical inside. And I think a big thing with these international guys coming over is how comfortable they're going to be out of the way. Are they forcing? Are they delegating a lot? Can they be aggressive out there? I know he didn't shoot the ball totally well inside the 3-point line, but I liked what I saw from Hugo. And he's I talked about him pre-draft. I was so worried about the shot, and I'm still worried about it, right? That's why he went as late as he did. But I talked about the frame. I talked about the defensive physicals that we saw a little bit at Real Madrid. So I think that was on display. He's physical stock. He can stay low to the ground, and we'll see the runtime for him in Boston. Shireman, another guy you'd like to see him be a little bit more efficient. He's getting way more opportunity in Summer League than he got last year. But I think Charles Bassey, I think, is still unsigned. He's probably too good for Summer League. I had him on my underrated free agency list. I'd like to see somebody pick him up. We're seeing some familiar faces like Kenny Lofton. Jordan Walsh has had his moments in Summer League so far. Jalen Bridges, former Baylor Bear, who was, I believe, drafted by the Suns last year. Or no, I think undrafted and picked up by the Suns. And then Amari Williams showing some presence inside, a little bit of crafty playmaking. And then you also have Max Shulga, who hasn't really shot the ball too well. I didn't get to catch Boston's second Summer League game. I think they played my Knicks. So actually, was it? Yeah, no, they played the Knicks yesterday, which I caught a little bit of. But I was basically as someone that's a Knicks fan, their Summer League roster, and I watched the Pistons game, it's not great. It's not great, but I did catch the condensed game of the Pistons, of the Knicks and the Celtics. I have probably a couple more Knicks takes than Celtics takes. So we'll go to the Brooklyn Nets, which their game against Washington last night was a lot of fun. It came down to the wire. There was a lot of cool moments. I mean, Drew Timmy, I forget sometimes he is 6'10". He postered Alex Sarr in this game. He's been shooting the ball a ton. And I know Nets fans may be like, I mean, it's not that exciting because you also have like Tyson Etienne, Tosan shooting a ton as well. But it's not like they are shoot first guys in Summer League, but Yegor Jamin, I know it's like Dyoh-man. We've all been saying it wrong over the last year. I think Yegor Jamin, he looks honestly the part as a shooter. Like he shot very well. I think he went 2 for 5 from 3 in his first game. But he shot well. He had like a nice corner, like fall away 3 at the end of that Wizards game. And it was pretty impressive, honestly, for Yegor. Traore, I thought showed a lot of flashes with creativity with the ball in his hands, finishing inside. I mean, he's still, I think, struggles to hit difficult shots, which, hey, they're difficult shots for a reason. But I would just like to see him impress me a little bit because sometimes his shots can come from either wide open or just like a wide open layup, basically. Danny Wolf has had his ups and downs, has not shot the ball well. The defense is still a work in progress. And Ben Suraf has the size. The form is still very weird. He had a nice step back jumper against Washington. But I'll definitely have more Wizards takes. I just feel like, oh man, Nets fans, I hope you're ready for Cam Thomas when he gets signed, you would think, right? And Michael Porter Jr. to shoot the ball a lot next year because Jamin, Traore, Saraf, even Danny Wolf right now, they are not shoot first guys. They are not like put the ball on the ground, head to the basket. I think Saraf has a little bit of that in him more than Traore or Jamin right now. I know they like to play in transition. I think it's going to be fun though. Like I said, I'm done talking about the Nets draft class from the philosophy standpoint on draft night. I'm just excited to see how it all works. And I think what Sean Marks and that front office wants to see is how are they going to look with the pieces they're going to add over the next few years. Michael Porter Jr., I wouldn't bet money that he's going to be here after his 2-year contract is up. I don't know if Cam Thomas is going to be here in 3 years. How is Traore, Yegor, and Saraf going to look with Nick Claxton in the front court? So I'm just excited to watch the Nets this year in the regular season, even though their record won't be great. Charlotte, man, they've been a fun summer league team so far. So I don't want to, if Nick Smith is hurt, then throw my take out the window, and that's ignorant on me for not fully knowing. But I do feel like Nick Smith should be playing on the summer league roster if he is healthy. Now, KJ Simpson has shot the ball very good. The Colorado class from 2024, you know, it's had its nice moments in Summer League. We'll get to Cody Williams and Tristan DeSilva later, but KJ Simpson shot the ball well. Liam McNeely has shot the ball from 3 very well. He played great against the Utah Jazz. The efficiency took a little bit hit in their last game, but Tidjane Salaam has been a standout, looks a little bit more comfortable. And hey, a teenager, right? Coming overseas from Cholet, who was a project, he was going to take a little bit of time. I still don't love the pick. Like, you could look at this center rotation right now. Kalkbrenner, who's been nice in Summer League, but has a limited ceiling. Moussa Diabate. They also picked up, who's their third string center? Or, not Yusuf Nurkic. I know they have one other center that I'm just completely blanking on. Hold on. It was Mason Plumlee. That's who I was thinking of that they ended up signing. Yeah, we'll see how the center rotation. I mean, yeah, in hindsight, Donovan Clingan would have been nice or somebody like that. Khalil Ware. But, you know, the past is the past. I think Tidjane Salaam has had a very encouraging Summer League so far. I think he's physical inside. I think he's like showcasing his timing being a little bit better, letting guys like with his pump fake get in the air, and then he has that physicality, that standing dunk reach where he could just throw it down on you. And he's gonna have a lot better playmakers, at least with Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, Colin Sexton, Spencer Dinwiddie when he's playing on the active roster next year. And you know what? They're going to suck me in, man. Con Kennable only played in one Summer League game. They're going to suck me in to believe in this team again, because not only is this like an exciting young core in a way, like I said, they're going to LaMelo Ball, who is going to be healthy at least to start the year. Same with Brandon Miller. Grant Williams is recovering from the ACL. Josh Green should hopefully be healthy at the start of the year. You got Colin Sexton, who they just added. Miles Bridges is still a solid basketball player. So I do feel like this team, although their defense is probably going to be one of the worst in the NBA, they're going to be a fun team offensively next year. I haven't really figured out like my full seedings. Like, we'll get to that in September, but I like Charlotte over the course of the year, definitely more than Chicago, Washington, and Brooklyn. So, hey, by default, they're the 12th seed. I mean, could there be some injuries to some other teams and maybe some teams sell off some pieces? Like, who knows where Toronto or Miami or Philadelphia, Milwaukee will be this year. Could Charlotte make the play? I mean, it's not impossible, right? So next up, the Chicago Bulls. I think one of the more, like, not one of the more exciting Summer League teams. I had my eyes on a couple guys. I mean, Javon Freeman from Liberty has been by far their best offensive player. But I had a lot of eyes on Montes Buzelis, who was forcing a lot in that Raptors game, I believe, in which they got blown out in. And then Noah Essengay struggled in his first game, was better in the second game. The shot is going to take some time. It's going to have some ups and downs over the course of his rookie season. But hopefully for the Bulls and what their vision is going to be this year, I mean, team success should not matter whatsoever. It should not even be the forefront. Like, you even heard Will Dawkins on the broadcast against the Nets yesterday. I forgot who asked him the question specifically. Maybe it was Tim Legler, or his co-broadcaster, but they were like, where could you see your team maybe in the playoff picture in April? And I mean, I thought Will Dawkins was going to say yes, because they asked like, oh, it's a wide open East. Like, you think you're excited about this team? Where could we go? And he goes like, I want to win every single day, take it day by day, but we don't want to skip steps, kind of implying that they want to keep their first round pick. Chicago, maybe you guys should also be a team that has a high draft pick or tries to have the best odds in 2026. But Josh Giddey hasn't signed yet. It was reported that he was at Summer League, but he hasn't been sitting with like the Bulls veterans because there hasn't been a contract extension done. We know that there's an interesting restricted free agency standoff right now with Quentin Grimes, Cam Thomas, Josh Giddey, and Jonathan Kuminga, because nobody has cap space really right now. Like, the Utah Jazz could get involved, but I think they don't want to add more touches to somebody else. So, like, nobody can give these restricted free agents the $30 million. Maybe they wanted $20 million for some of them. So their teams are like, you know what? We'll give you the full mid-level. We'll give you $15 million a year. Who else is giving you $60 million guaranteed over the course of 4 years, or $70, $80 million instead of maybe the $120 million you got? And I think that's the Giddey situation right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays over the next few weeks. And I wonder if these restricted free agents go into August. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of my favorite summer league players so far has definitely been Jalen Tyson and Naquan Tomlin. Tomlin's got a really cool background. Started basketball super late. He was called up from the G League Elite Camp last year up to the Combine. And he's going to be an intriguing two-way player for the Cavs. He looks very dominant getting downhill against these younger, lighter, smaller guys on the when he's on offense. I think Jalen Tyson looks the part as well. I'm excited to see him. Hopefully have more playing time next year. Proctor got off to a good start, has struggled a little bit with the shot. And I think Saliu Niang has made some nice defensive plays. But this Cavs team, obviously, is not the best summer league roster in the world. They're a team, I mean, Norchad Armia, I want to give some props to, because he's been a monster on the glass as well. But yeah, this is a team that pretty much has their team. They're going for the NBA Finals. They're going for the 1 seed again in the Eastern Conference. They just gave Kobe Altman an extension earlier this morning, and I'm just excited to watch the Cavs next year. I'm excited to watch Lonzo on a winning team, the best team he's going to be on in his career so far. How are they going to have Merrill, more involved in the offense off the extension? How is Mobley going to look like? Again, is he going to take another step? How is Garland going to look like coming off the injury? I think there's a lot of fun aspects to the 2026 Cavs. Are they going to just run away with the Eastern Conference title again? Or is a team like Orlando, New York, one of those teams going to give them a little bit of a fight? Dallas, we've already seen Cooper Flagg get shut down. He was the most exciting player at Summer League, given his draft status and his pedigree in college. He struggled against the Lakers. He made some eye-popping, like he almost had a poster against the Lakers and won against the Spurs. He was a lot better in that San Antonio game, but I think he's getting to the spots, I think, for any 18-year-old. He's going to be, I think people forget, he's going to be 18 when he starts his NBA career. He's like, I think 100 days more or something around there than when LeBron was coming out of high school, because Flagg reclassified to go to Montverde and then to go into the 25 draft. He was supposed to be in the 26 draft with Peterson, DeBance, and Boozer. I forget if any of those guys reclassified, but either way, Cooper Flagg looked the part against the Spurs. I think he struggles sometimes with the usage as a ball handler, bringing it up the floor, and I think they were giving him too much, I think, of the lead ball handling duties in Summer League to start, but he got more comfortable as the games went along. He made some great defensive plays. He's getting his teammates involved. The shot will get better. He's 18, like I said. I'm super excited about Flagg this year. I think Miles Kelly has made some really nice scoring plays. He's been a good three-point shooter for them. I wonder what his status will be for the Mavericks if they want a deep roster spot. Ryan Nembhard, I tweeted out, how did this guy go undrafted? And I wanted to have it was his clutch three, so, some guys have missed clutch threes in Summer League. He knocked it down. He's looked cool, calm, and collective. Didn't shoot the ball super well in their next Summer League game against the Spurs, but he definitely looks the part being undrafted. He's super comfortable out there. He'll get his teammates involved. I'm enjoying Ryan Nembhard, and I hope he finishes out Summer League. There's some interesting names like Matthew Cleveland. If you remember him at Florida State, they have Maxwell Lewis, who was one of my favorite second-round players in the 2023 draft out of Pepperdine. Fortunately, he got hurt last year. I was hoping he would stay on Brooklyn. He went to Brooklyn in the Dorian Finney-Smith deal, but we'll see if he has a role next year going forward. Next up, we do have the Denver Nuggets. Not the most exciting Summer League roster either. I was intrigued about Spencer Jones. You have Boo Buie from, where did he go again? He went to, Was it Northwestern? Why am I? Yeah, it was Northwestern. And then like Marcus Novell is playing in summer league. You have Keontae Johnson on this team. Reese Beekman, former Virginia Cavalier. He was an intriguing prospect last year. EJ Liddell, former Buckeye. But yeah, Tamar Bates, who was in this class, Mizzou, undrafted player. But Deron Holmes was the most intriguing player here because there's been the whole situation with Jonas Valanciunas. The Nuggets traded for Valanciunas with some of the money they got from the Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr. Difference in that contract trade. And Jonas Valanciunas apparently got a very nice offer to go play in Greece, where he would be the Joel Embiid over there. Like, he's getting a lot more touches than he'll get. He's going to play a lot more than he would get playing behind Nikola Jokic. Now, I think their styles of play, they could throw them both out there at the same time. You would sacrifice a little bit of defense. But I was most excited about Deron Holmes. I think he's going to have an increase in playing time. I think he'll be better than Zeke Naji going forward. Shot the ball well from three. And this is a man coming off a ruptured Achilles last year at Summer League. So it's nice to see Deron Holmes looking the part because I liked him a ton coming out of Dayton back last year. Next up for Detroit, there's been some really fun Pistons so far. Ron Holland had a great game against the Knicks. He looks the part as well. I mean, I'm so excited about year two. Ron Holland. I don't know where the touches are going to be fully, like how much are they going to increase from his rookie year. I'd like to assume they're going to go up, right? But I just don't know. With Jaden Ivey coming back, they added Karis LeVert, they brought in Duncan Robinson. If Malik Beasley's innocent, he's going to probably be back next year. Going on, you have Cade, you have Asar Thompson, who probably wants more touches as well, Jalen Duren. I hope there is touches for Holland, and there was a game last year where Cade was hurt, I believe, and Holland was like carrying the offense offensively. It was just a lot of fun carrying the offense offensively. Why'd I say that? I don't know. But I'm excited about Ron Holland. He's looked the part in Summer League. Dennis Jenkins, former St. John Red Storm. I think he was at Iona with Rick Pitino, maybe Pacific as well. He's been lights out shooting the ball in Summer League. I'd like for Wayne Needham to be a little bit better offensively, but I think that'll come. And it's cool that Zakai Ziegler is also on the Summer League team playing with his buddy Chaz Lanier. And they also have Bryce Williams from Nebraska, Bobby Klitman, who was a second rounder last year, Trevor Keels, who I believe was Duke drafted to the Knicks, right? In the second round. When was that? 2022, a bad second round pick by the Knicks, who've been a pretty good team drafting in the second round over the last few years. The Golden State Warriors Summer League roster hasn't been the most exciting either. Now, Gabe Madsen is probably one of the more intriguing guys. Men was lights out from three against Utah last night. Off like in movement, in stride, in transition. He was knocking him down. He'll be maybe a fringe player. We'll see. Like, he's going to get more playing time throughout Summer League. Will Richard, I think, has been pretty good so far as well. I talked a little bit about him in my overreaction video on the Srosh channel, but I think he could definitely have a role in Golden State. They've done well drafting in the second round, although it's been big men, but like hitting on Jackson Davis, hitting on Quinton Post, some guys that I think should be in Summer League. But I think Will Richard has looked good. Tui, I think, is looking a little bit clunky, not as smooth with the ball in his hands. And we'll see like Teron Armstrong, who they picked up last year from the NBL. He'll have a role. And then you have Coleman Hawkins. I know the Warriors and their fans are more focused on like, what is this team doing in free agency? Why haven't we signed Al Horford yet or Anthony Melton? Next up, you have the Houston Rockets. Was once one of the more exciting Summer League teams, and obviously those young guys have grown up now. Like, we at one point saw Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard, Jabari Smith Jr., Cam Whitmore, and some others. This team, and Tari, Eason. These teams were stacked. Now it's just like, all right, I like to watch Reed Shepard just cook a little bit. He had a good Summer League first game. Struggled a little bit with the efficiency in the next game, but hey, it's going to be a bit. He might be one of the bigger X factors in Houston. You could say it's him or Jabari Smith Jr. Because if there's an injury to somebody in the backcourt, could Reed Shepard be a starter at one point? How is he going to look? I think last year, it's just the inconsistency of playing time for a rookie guard, which already they take a hit with their efficiency as a rookie. It's just like he never got, I think, time to get in rhythm and get to his spots and feel comfortable every single night because he never really knew how much playing time he was going to have. If he wasn't shooting well, would he have a quick leash and get pulled by Ime Udoka, which made sense. It was a team that wanted to win games last year, and they were the 2 seed. So I think Reed Shepard is going to be an extreme X factor for the Rockets this upcoming season. There's also some fun names on here as well, because you got Kennedy Chandler, former first. Did he go in the first round from Tennessee? 38 to the Spurs a few years ago. And then you had great Osborne, or Osobor, who was good. He was like on my radar going into this year. I might be butchering his last name, out of Washington. I know he went pretty high in my college fantasy basketball league last year, but I know he didn't play super well compared to his expectations. We'll go to Indiana now, where Quentin Jackson looked like a beast in his first summer league game. Ray J. Dennis has looked pretty good facilitating for Indiana, and Reek Freeman, who was an intriguing player last year, I think could have a role for Indiana. Same with Johnny Furphy, who shot the ball better in his second game, or maybe vice versa. Either way, I think Furphy, with the athleticism, the movement without the ball in his hands, he could have a role for Indiana. Taylon Peter, who was like the highest true shooting player in college basketball last year, he goes in the second round. Everybody was like, who? A lot of like the main draft outlets did not have him on like a top 100 big board. Goes to show you, like, they weren't waiting to the undrafted part of the cycle. They wanted to definitely get him, and he's looked pretty good for Indiana. Cam Jones, you guys know, is a big fan of in the pre-draft process. I think there's some fun players here that could end up having a role for Indiana next year, right? Like, nobody's like a true center out of these guys. I know when Rick Freeman had like a center moment or two last year. They picked up Jay Huff, Isaiah Jackson is back on this team, James Wiseman as well. But hey, Freeman, I don't know about Ray J. Dennis, but Freeman, Peter, obviously, Furphy, Cam Jones, these guys could have roles next year for the Pacers if there's an injury or two, and obviously with no Halliburton. The Clippers, I think, have actually been a little bit more exciting. I think Trent Flowers has had some cool moments coming from the NBL. Last year's draft cycle, Kobe Sanders, who I wanted my Knicks to take, he's looked very good in Summer League and kind of limited playing time. I wish he was playing more. Jordan Miller, who was a standout last year, he's been great this year again. Cam Christie, though, one of my favorite prospects, second round guys in the second round last year. He's looked great with the ball in his hands. He's looked more comfortable out there. Kobe Brown had a good game. He looked a little bit more dominant inside than I think he did last year, even though he did have a good summer league last year. We'll see. I mean, it's kind of now or never for him. Conan Niederhauser has not been off to a great start, but Clippers fans, don't overreact to this. I know you could have drafted a Maxime Reynal or a Kalkbrenner, John Abram, who cares? Yannick Conan Niederhauser was always going to be a little bit more of a project, a slow build up, and he may not even play a lot next year with Lopez and Zubats going forward. But Patrick Baldwin Jr. had a good game last night as well against the Bucks. We'll go on to the Lakers here. Also not a super exciting summer league roster, but some fun names like RJ Davis, Arthur Kaluma, Julian Reese, Darius Baisley, who's been like one of the more older players in summer league. He was drafted back in 2019. I know like Scal Bassier, I think, has been in summer league, and he was 29. But Bronny James, honestly looked a lot better so far. I know he was kind of inconsistent, or not inconsistent, but he didn't play a ton pre-Vegas. He had some games, but he didn't play the first game. I think Cole Swider has definitely been the most exciting Laker. His off-ball movement, his shooting for the Lakers could definitely be a diamond in the rough find for them, and it's going to be a fraction of the price of Dalton Connect, who was a first-round pick, who you'd like for him to be a little bit better inside the three-point line, but a lot of his shots next year are probably going to come behind the three-point line. DJ Stewart was one of my favorite players a while ago. I watched him at Ohio State, or no, he went to, no, I'm thinking of somebody different. I'm thinking of DJ Carton. Never mind. Ignore that. So, but I think the Lakers, like Bronny, I don't think he's going to play a lot. He looks more comfortable with the ball in his hands, and he was always going to be more of a project. And obviously last year with like the cardiac arrest and not being in like full swing and in rhythm at USC, and they were not really a great team in 2020. That would have been 4. Boogie Ellis and Isaiah Collier were kind of dominating the ball a little bit. So I think Bronny is still going to be like a G League guy next year. But honestly, it's an intriguing depth piece. He just needs to be, I think, better of a three-point shooter. But he's a pretty good athlete. You guys saw that transition dunk. Dalton Connect, they need to step up a little bit if he's on the roster. Memphis has definitely been one of the more exciting summer league rosters. I mean, it's kind of stacked. It was stacked before Vegas. It's been stacked at Vegas. I mean, I tweeted out like Jalen Wells, who was a top 5 rookie last year, playing summer league, while some of these other rookies that weren't as good as him, like why isn't Donovan Clingan playing summer league? Donovan Clingan was good last year. I'd like to see him in summer league. I know Jalen Wells, like, he had that scary fall late in the year for Memphis, like didn't play for them in the playoffs. He's out there grinding, man, and I think he's looked great. He's looked the part, and I applaud him playing in summer league. Cam Spencer has been good in summer league as well. He's been a good 3-point shooter, and I loved his story from Loyola to Rutgers to UConn, winning a national title there, and he got a guaranteed contract from Memphis earlier this offseason. Gigi Jackson looked great yesterday as well. Or 2 days ago, and he looks like he wants to be more aggressive. He had a down sophomore year, obviously came into the year with that foot injury with that lower body injury, and there was more guys in Memphis from the 24 season when everybody was hurt in Memphis. But I think he should have a more involved role next year. And I love Jemai Mashak in the pre-draft process, and I think he makes winning plays and will be a player for the Grizzlies one day. Miami's been an interesting summer league team for sure. I think a lot of you guys know I was big on Pele Larson's finish to the end of the season last year. I think he should still be more involved in this rotation. Kasper Shakuchonis, I think people were way too quick from I forget if he played in Salt Lake City or I think it was in the California Classic. Like, didn't shoot the ball well, but looked fantastic against, I think it was Atlanta, right, in the first Summer League game. He didn't shoot the ball a ton in their last Summer League game, a game in which Kel'el Ware played a lot better and probably his best Summer League game so far. It's been interesting with Kel'el Ware because a big thing with Ware going into the 24 draft was his motor, his kind of willingness to take plays off at times. Like, he wouldn't give 100% effort every single play, and I think that's been a big thing for somebody we'll get to in New Orleans, but he had a great rookie year. He looked like like somebody that could space the floor, be a good shot blocker, the athleticism for a modern day big. But Erik Spoelstra came out in that interview and was like, he needs to work on his professionalism. He needs to work on his day-to-day kind of character. And that was a thing for him. So we'll see what happens with Ware. Obviously, he was untouchable in the KD trade going on in Miami. I still have hope for Steve Settle, as maybe Ware, Yakuchonis don't play towards, or Ware and maybe Larson don't play towards the end of Summer League. I need Steve Settle, my Temple guy, to get in there and get good reps. For Milwaukee, not an exciting Summer League roster either, but some intriguing pieces. Oh man, I'm going bankrupt on my Tyler Smith stock. I think I had him like 17th on my big board last year. 3-point shots is not falling. He's got the ball handling ability. He's got the quickness, the agility for being a floor spacing 5 or stretch 4. Man, the shot is just not falling. And if the shot's not falling, where's the roll? I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I still believe in the jumper, but it's tough with the sample size. Andre Jackson didn't have a great, I think, second Summer League game, but we'll see. I don't think he's too good for Summer League. I would like to see him be a little bit more aggressive out there, that's for sure. He's averaging 3.5 shots a night in Summer League. Why? Is Chris Livingston tripling your shots, or Jameer Boya tripling your shots, or Pete Nance? And Boya, he hit the game winner against Denver, which was pretty sweet. Chris Livingston shots are falling, which is nice. I mean, a former second-round pick. His name was brought up a lot in the Bronny talks because I think they were the same exact pick, but he got that fully guaranteed contract. So then people were like, all right, it's not crazy for Bronny to get that. Boga Markovic had a good game against the Nuggets, or a little bit more impressive in that game going forward. We'll see. Are any of these guys going to help the Bucks next year? Maybe Livingston has the best chance outside of Andre Jackson. Shout out Cormac Ryan, former UNC Tar Heel. Minnesota, they've had some guys that have been just eye-popping throughout Summer League. Jalen Clark's defense. It was like the first game of Vegas Summer League against the Pelicans. He threw an alley-oop off the glass to himself, and I'm like, almost didn't go in. I was like, oh man, I don't think Chris Finch is going to like that one. But his defense is NBA like legit, and we saw that last year. Tristan Newton, who was on that UConn team, he was drafted, I believe, by the Pacers last year, and obviously got waived in the 25 season. Rocco Sikorsky has looked fun in limited playing time, but Baron J has definitely been one of the Summer League standouts. He had 2 blocks on his first possession against the Pelicans. He only had, I think, 1 block in his second game, but I think talk about like a Euro player coming over here that was going to be raw. That's still going to be raw, but his timing is off the charts impressive right now. He's getting in the paint and not going up right away, but getting guys in the air, completing dunks, completing inside lobs, and I think it's going to be great for him being behind Gobert next year. Terrence Shannon Jr. is definitely way too good for Summer League. I'd like for Rob Dillingham to be a little bit better from mid-range and at the rim. That was something he needed to work on coming out of Kentucky. 3-point shot is legit. It's quick. He plays 100%, like he plays like at 100 miles per hour, which I love. But I'd like for him to be a little bit more controlled at the rim. And Leonard Miller can be such an intriguing guy. I just need somebody to rework the jumper. It is not pretty. It is not smooth. It is not quick whatsoever. But if he can figure out the 3-point shot, I think he could be somewhat of a rotational guy for Minnesota going forward, who needs that player on the margins, given how deep into the luxury tax and close to the second apron they are. The Pelicans, I guess I mentioned before with Kel'el Ware, something about taking plays off. Derek Queen, it's more so defensively. I watched him just kind of stand there way too much where guys are driving right by him, especially in transition. He's kind of just like delegating, or, you know what, saying, okay, the other guy helping me out, or the other guy back with me will do most of the work, and I'll just sit here to get the loose ball or the rebound. I'd like for him to be a little bit more active defensively. I love Yves Missy's aggressiveness against Minnesota. I think he'll be a really fun player next year with Jeremiah Fears, who Was worried about the efficiency, did not shoot the ball well in the first 2 games whatsoever, but he plays quick. He's got a great ball handle, and I think he'll get better over time. Kasparis got a little bit more size on him, so I think Kasparis will be more efficient, but I expect Fears. I expect maybe Drummond not as much. Drummond. I got to make sure it's not Andre Drummond, right? Yegor in Brooklyn, but I think Traore is going to struggle with some efficiency going forward. But I like what Micah PV has done so far. He stood out to me, that's for sure. But I think the Pelicans are going to be a fun team. I don't know if it's going to be a fun 7 seed or a fun 13 seed, but they're going to be fun next year. And it's funny to watch Hunter Dickinson out there. He was once like the stud in college basketball at Michigan. My Knicks. Oh man, this has been rough. Tyler Kolek's shot has not been falling. The defense has not been great. Muhammad Diawara has made like a play or two out there, but it hasn't been super exciting knowing they could have had Kobe Sanders or Ryan Nembhard with that pick, or some of the guys that went later in the 2025 draft. James Najee hasn't looked super active out there, just kind of eye-popping. Ariel Hukporti, I'd like to take, or for him to take a couple more shots, but he's been a beast on the boards. He's made some nice blocks. Marjon Beauchamp is shooting the ball a ton. Pacomi Dadier, I would like for the shot to fall a little bit better or a little bit more from 3 because the form looks so good. It's just not falling. And Kevin McCullough's 3-point shots, like nobody's knocking down threes really too well outside of Grant on the Knicks, who I didn't really know much about going into this. Day Grant, where is he from? He's from Duquesne. Shout out Pittsburgh, man. And then, yeah, like Dig Page shot hasn't really fallen too much either, which is, I mean, we're 2 games in the summer league, right? But I think Kevin McCullough has definitely been a standout. He was great against the Boston Celtics, pretty much carried the Knicks in that game. But yeah, the Knicks do need some wing depth, and they need guys that could score. I don't know if McCullough will be a better defensive player than Dadier, at least in 2026, but I think Mike Brown should hopefully at least, or in Leon Rose, give him a full 2-way contract for the Knicks next year. They have that second round exception still on the books. Give it to McCullough, and he can maybe be a player for you at some point next year. The Thunder have been a fun summer league team as well. We learned AJ Mitchell, too good for summer league. We saw a lot of the Thunder pre-Vegas. Nikola Topic has been a fun watch. The court vision is there. The finishing at the rim has been on display. The 3-point shot has been nice. It's just cool to see Nikola Topic out there for somebody that was fun to watch at Mega Basket a couple years ago, or in the 24 season, and then he suffers that ACL tear. The Thunder didn't need him, right? They win it all anyway, but he's going to be fun to watch for the Thunder this year. Brooks Barnhizer, one of his calling cards at Northwestern was the defense, the rebounding, the physicality down low, and that's exactly what the Thunder could use. Maybe he's going to be Kenrich Williams for them 2.0. And he's a second-round pick. Once he got drafted, or I didn't know much about him until maybe beginning of June to have him on my radar for the draft, and I'm watching him. I'm like, all right, if the Pacers, Grizzlies, or Thunder draft him, I'm going to realize, okay, this guy is going to be a modern day wing/big hybrid. And then the last guy I could probably briefly mention, Chris Youngblood. He's been one of the best scorers of summer league. And he's been a cool story as well from Alabama. And I know Alabama, some of the guys' numbers last year weren't great, but I think Youngblood could be an interesting 2-way for the Thunder if they have that flexibility. Orlando, there's been some fun names here in Orlando. I like Noah Penda's defense so far. He played a lot better yesterday than his first game. Yeah, they got Scal Bassier. When was Scal drafted? Was it 2016? Oh my God. Yep, round 1 in 2016. Crazy. Props to him though. He's grinding out there. You love to see it. Adonis Williams, who had that sick dunk last year for the Heat's been good for them. But Tristan Da Silva, I don't know if he's too good for summer league, but I'm liking the efficiency. I'm liking the aggressiveness. I'm liking the creativity with the ball in his hands, which I think he needs these reps for next year for Orlando. And Jason Richardson, I think has been cool, calm, and collective. He was a little bit better as a facilitator in game 2, which I like to see. I'm okay with him not shooting the ball a ton. I like to see the passiveness go up and the unselfishness be on display, because he was kind of score first a little bit at Michigan State. I don't think he had tunnel vision, but I think he could get his teammates involved a little bit more, and he showed that in their second summer league game more so than against Sacramento. Philly, they haven't been a fun watch as of late. They were a fun watch when VJ Edgecombe was healthy and he didn't have that finger injury, and he was great against Utah. But yeah, we're watching Judah Mintz, Dominic Barlow. Justin Edwards has struggled with efficiency, which is not worrisome, but I thought he could have been all right, this guy's too good for summer league, like an AJ Mitchell or somebody like that from last year's cycle. Dembona has been super physical inside, and Janai Broom has been a pretty good 3-point shooter, which I think will make him an intriguing piece for Philadelphia next year off the bench. And I would like for Hunter Salas, who I had a top 60 grade on, I believe, just be a little bit more efficient going forward for Philly. Phoenix has been a fun summer league team. I tweeted out before, or like after the first couple minutes of the Wizards game, I tweeted out the Wizards summer league roster, and it was a photo of DeMarcus Cousins, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry on the Warriors, because that summer league team is stacked, and the Suns like blew them out. Kobe Bryant, he looks like 2016 Steph Curry out there. I mean, I had him as a top 5 shooter in this class. Told a lot of people, like, this guy is one of the safer shooters you'll get, and the form looks so good. It's been on display. Ryan Dunn's been a good 3-point shooter in Summer League in one game, but I'm not going to get sucked in on that. He was a good 3-point shooter to start off his rookie year, and that went down a little bit. But Oso Agudoro looks the part. I think I would like for Kaman to stop taking as many threes. I'm liking the reps, get him out there, but I think I'd like to see the inside presence a little bit more on display. And shout out Khalif Battle, former Temple Owl out there for this team. But the Suns Summer League, or excuse me, the Suns young core a little bit better, I think, because you also, like, Jalen Green is still young on this team, and you have Rasheer Fleming, who hasn't played in Summer League yet. So the Suns, yeah, they'll have an intriguing young core next year around D Book. Portland's Summer League team, I mean, hasn't really been too exciting outside of Young Hansen. There's been some Caleb Love action. Obviously, he went undrafted, but everybody kind of knows him out of UNC in Arizona. James Bouknight is on the Summer League roster. I like I said, I would have liked to see, I know Chris Murray's older, but could we see Chris Murray, Scoot Henderson? There's no shame in playing Summer League, man. Could we see Scoot out there? They do have DJ Carden, who was a fun watch. Why am I remembering him? Maybe it wasn't at Ohio State, or was it Marquette? It was Marquette. It wasn't Ohio State. I think I watched him play Ohio State, is in my memory. They got Sean Padula on the team from Ole Miss. I don't know why I'm thinking. I just want to make sure, because it wasn't Georgia. Yeah, Ole Miss, right? And then, yeah, but Young Hansen's obviously been the story. I know I will look like a fool, and I'm okay with that. I was pretty... I mean, my arbitrary grade of them drafting Young Hansen was an F, given everything considered. Everybody would be like, yeah, Minnesota would have taken him. I don't know, man. I don't know if Minnesota would have taken him. They'll say that all the time. Apparently, San Antonio was going to take T.J. Salon at 8 last year, and that's why Charlotte took him at 6. Whatever, right? I hope he works out. He's fun, man. The court vision is on display. It's what I saw watching him in the CBA, when everybody kind of watched him more at the Combine. There's going to be, I think, some efficiency things. There's going to be some lapses defensively, but I would be shocked if he ended up on an all-rookie team. I would. I think he's still a little bit more of a project. But I hope the 3-point shot could be something, because him and Klingon could maybe help out each other going forward. But he's a very good ball handler at his size, and I hope he works out. I want to be wrong, and I want to say Young Hansen made an all-star game one day, because that will be one of the more entertaining players in the NBA. Sacramento, I tweeted out that they had an underrated young core, and whenever you tweet out the word underrated or overrated, people think that means bad or good. No, I just think, like, if somebody said, how do you feel about the Sacramento Kings young core? People would probably say it's not great. And I don't, or it's not good. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I think Devin Carter could be a legit piece to be a floor raiser for them, or help out a playoff team. I don't think that's going to be Sacramento next year, but he's healthy, man. He was hurt last year, wasn't in Summer League. He had the shoulder issue, was kind of thrown out there in January, never really got comfortable. So I'm super excited for year 2 Devin Carter. Nee Clifford's looked the part in Summer League. Maxime Reynau's looked the part in Summer League. Both those players, I think, went later in the draft than they should have. And I think Isaac Jones is one of the more underrated young pieces in the NBA. I mean, he's 24, right? He's not like insanely young, but I think he's had a cool come up as well. I think he was called up with Daquan Tomlin, as well as maybe Boogie Ellis, excuse me, in the Summer League, or in the G League Elite Camps of the Combine in 24. Dylan Cardwell, I wish has shown a little bit more. I was intrigued on him, and I thought could have been a depth big man piece for the Kings going forward. And I also didn't mention, like, Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray, who are not in Summer League. And I know they're not super young, not like 19, 20, 21, but I think the under 25 Sacramento Kings, like, are intriguing. I don't think they're breaking the bank on their contracts next. And I think they could add to their young core with the top pick in the 26th draft. And I think they can at least get one young or two pieces for Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, if they ever made a franchise shift over the next few years. But LaVine, DeRozan, and Malik Monk all off the books in 2 years. So I just think the Kings can play this right. I just don't know. I hope to trust Scott Perry, but I don't know. The Spurs Summer League team, it's crazy, because Carter Bryant has been one of the best defenders in Summer League, maybe the best defender, and has made some eye-popping plays, which that's what you want to see, right? Don't look too much into shooting splits in Summer League, but it is so crazy that he is shooting 7.7% from the field. He is shooting 11% from 3, and you would think that Carter Bryant, like, if you didn't really know that from what you've heard, he would be on, like, all summer league first team. And that's just a 2-game sample size in Vegas. Like, he was a little bit better before that, but the defense has been incredible. Dylan Harper didn't play in their first game of summer league. Was that against Utah? No. Who was that against? I don't know, but he played against Dallas. Why am I forgetting who Carter Bryant? It was Utah, Philly. Maybe, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, Dylan Harper made a great transition block against Dallas. He's going to be great. I don't know if they've officially shut him down, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him again. But I would say maybe David Jones has been one of the more intriguing pieces on this team. Dexter Dennis as well. And shout out to Harrison Ingram. And Jameer Nelson Jr., which makes me feel old watching him play. The son of, obviously, Jameer Nelson. Toronto's been a fun defensive team so far. Now, AJ Lawson, who... didn't he have like a 30-point game in March or something like that last year? Like, he's been the scoring standout for them, and he looks like a man amongst boys out there at times. Jacoby Walter, I think, is getting his shots. He's getting his rhythm. The shot efficiency, I'm not going to look too much into. I've really liked the defense from Conor Murray-Boyles in his first game yesterday. I've really loved the defense from Elijah Martin. He obviously had that eye-popping dunk against, I think it was against the Bulls. And then you got Jamal Shed, or Chomsky showed some moments yesterday as well. Jonathan Mogbo, Chucky Hepburn. I loved his defense. The offense hasn't really been great so far. But yeah, this is one of the best summer league defenses I think we could see with like Chomsky's hit or miss defensively, but you can have Elijah Martin out there with Jonathan Mogbo, with Jamal Shed, with Chucky Hepburn and Conor Murray-Boyles. It won't be great offensively, but they're going to be not fun to score on defensively. Utah, definitely one of the more fun summer league rosters. Denver, Charlotte on Friday night. I tweeted out, like, I wanted a 7-game series in summer league between these teams. Isaiah Collier's like slimmed out more. He looks quicker with the ball in his hands, and I'm intrigued about that Collier going into next year. He shot the ball well in summer league so far, and I don't know. I think Isaiah Collier should be the starting point guard for this team next year. I think Keontae should start at the 2. Clayton could definitely be a sharpshooter for them off the bench, but I'm still locked into Collier. I don't want to give up on him too much yet. Walter Clayton shot the ball very well against Charlotte. Cody Williams has looked pretty good in summer league. Didn't look great pre-Vegas at times, but I think has looked the part somewhat, and has been more aggressive finishing at the rim. Kyle Filipowski, yeah, probably too good for summer league, right? And Bryce Sensabaugh, I'm not sure if he got hurt in the pre-Vegas summer league, but he shot the ball lights out before Vegas. And I would like to see Ace Bailey, but I get it for Utah. And then Washington, another fun summer league roster, one of the funnest out there for sure. But yeah, Dylan Jones they got from, I think it's Dylan Jones Day actually, for the Thunder, who they traded for late, or pretty recently actually. Jameer Watkins has kind of shown some aggressiveness and hustle plays, which I think what was intriguing about him as a 2nd-round pick. Shout out Leaky Black on this team, former Tar Heel. I think AJ Johnson, it's funny because there's still something in there in AJ Johnson. And he was a raw player coming out of Illawarra from the NBL, but he'll make like a flashy dunk or two. And then I just see somebody quoted and it's like the Bucks made the worst trade ever. I mean, I don't think AJ Johnson is going to be like a superstar or a star, but it's just funny because I don't think AJ Johnson is as good right now as maybe like the online community would think. But I'm intrigued to see his minutes next year. I don't know if he's going to play a ton right away, right? Because you got Trey Johnson, Bub Carrington, CJ McCollum, Marcus Smart for now, like all those guys in the backcourt. So we'll see how much he's going to play. Will Riley played great against Brooklyn, and he is such a cool shot maker for somebody at his size. And then you have Bub and Alex Sarr, who had, I think, a summer league record 8 blocks against the Nets. I tweeted out a photo of Ben Wallace, and I was like, this is Alex Sarr from yesterday, even though he got posted by Drew Timme. Keyshawn George was great against Phoenix, struggled a little bit against Brooklyn, and Trey Johnson looks the part as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down going forward. So I just kind of hit there on every NBA team summer league roster. Hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the Just Ballin' podcast. If you did, I would appreciate you leaving a thumbs up on YouTube. Let me know if you guys are on YouTube that you like kind of the new setup a little bit. I did kind of reverse it. Like on the other side of the cameras where I used to have it with like that poster. Now I just kind of got a duplicate of the same bookshelf. I know there's like another desk right here that you can see. You can let me know what you guys think about it down below. Hopefully you can see the lighting well. And if you guys are listening on audio, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, the pod is growing very well over there. So I want to say thank you. And I appreciate that a ton. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.